Breathe into this moment into your life. Breathe into this vortex we call New Year's Eve. In this moment in your heart, bow to 2016 and take a moment to give thanks and be grateful for how hard it was, how beautiful, how challenging, how perfect every moment of 2016 was. Because regardless of whatever happened, all of those moments added together added up to this one now. This moment on New Year's Eve where you would be sitting on your mat at the Soul of Yoga, opening your heart to this day and this healing and this new beginning. And so it is. Satnam. So, as I was getting ready for tonight, I was putting together the numerology and the astrology, and I decided that I would type it up so people would have it in writing and they wouldn't have to feel like, oh my God, what did she say? And because they do that and they ask you and you're like, I don't know what the fuck I just said. No, I'm just kidding. Did I say that? You know, it's so funny. When I used to go to SRF, there was this one monk that used to say, I mean, he was great, but he used to say some really weird, ironic things. And whenever you asked him about it after the service, he would go, did I say that? I mean, he just had this blank look on his face. Now I know how he feels. It's like, you don't know what the hell you're doing. You're up here, and, you know, with any luck, you kind of scooch out of the way, and the universe comes through. So it's funny because, you know, sometimes when I listen to myself back, I think, wow, that was good. Who are you, you know? So the biggest thing I want us to imbibe on before we start our Kriya today is that these first 8 days, Mercury's going to be in retrograde, but it's very, very potent. But it's not like you can actually do much. But you can be very, very clear right now. You can be very, very conscious. Like, use the first 8 days to really take good care of yourself. You know, so you're going to make those resolutions anyways. Do it in a way that, and this will make it easier. You only have to make an 8-day commitment. So for the first 8 days, I want you to eat better than you ever have, meditate more than you ever have, rest as much as you can, and take time twice a day to be clear about your life and what you are creating. Also be very open to that you don't really know. So you can get in the vicinity of where your soul's going, but to really let go of the steering wheel and really understand that there is a universe calling the shots and a power greater than you, and that really the biggest thing that we want to manifest is being able to dance with that power next year. So we are entering into the vibrate the cosmos, and the cosmos will clear the path. So I want us to focus on this in this class. Let's say the perfect trajectory of your life is like this. You're right here. You're really only like 2 inches off. We're only talking about you going like this. But this little 2-inch differentiation feels like an entirely different universe. Okay? And part of this, what's going to happen this year, as we really start to amp up, it's already been happening, it's just going to increase. It's not like tomorrow it's different, right? It's been steadily increasing that your thoughts, words, and actions create your reality. You know this, but it's so in your face lately, isn't it? And it's just going to get more and more. So what is really important is the first sutra, too, right? You are not what I think you are. You are what I think I am. You get that? You are not who I think you are. You are who I think I am. So I've been noticing I have a bunch of fucking complainers in my life. All they do is point out every frickin' thing that could go wrong. I have one in particular that's just getting on my last nerve. And I've really felt like a victim and like, why do I have so many complaints? Okay, people. Because I'm a complainer. These people soul would not exist if that wasn't my go-to. Now, here's the thing. I must be really close. I'm telling you this because I know it's happening to you, something of this variation. It wasn't this bad like even 6 months ago. I think I cropped up a whole group of negative people. Even the nice ones are now negative. So why is this happening? Because I've been growing along, I've been working on my negativity, I've been trying not to complain, and I'm better than I ever have been, but I haven't done the last 2 inches. And all of you are in this too. So if you are noticing an area in your life where you're thinking, what the hell is happening? Why? It's because everyone's mirroring you. And it doesn't make sense, right? Because it's like, I'm so much better at that. Why? You know, but I'm not where my destiny is. I'm not where my soul intends me to be. And we all, you know, we're going to play with this, you know, on New Year's Eve and stuff. We are all close. And what this last little thing of whatever is the gift to you. And the reason it's so important is just a very simple thing, because whatever you're just a tiny bit off on is wasting so much energy in your life. You have no idea. And you need to have it. And this is, you know, it's almost like being negative for me has been a luxury. I don't have that luxury anymore. And this is why this experience with my dog Sam has gone on. My dog Sam is my best friend. He's like an extension of Tony. Like, they kiss before they go to bed. They're like, it's kind of weird, you know. They have a fucking thing. But he's my boy too. Make no mistake. You know, he's in sadhana, he's on the trail. The best parts of my life, that dog is with me. Hands down, nobody spends more time with me than him. Even Fancy doesn't hold a candle to Sam. And that's weird because I've always been a feline girl, but something about Sam just sort of, oh God, I have to say, this was so hilarious. I was eating his neat new food he loves, and I'm doing his water, and all of a sudden he's standing in the utility room looking at me, and I'm like, what? You have this whole... Fancy was eating his food, and she's scary. You know, she can scare anybody. So he was like, she's eating my food. I'm like, Fancy, you don't like that. She's like, you know, she's like eating a yam. Cats don't eat yams. I mean, what the hell? But whatever. So, okay, so back to Sam. The biggest part of what's going on with me with that was the experience with the doctor on Christmas Eve. It's not that Sam doesn't have cancer. But even to that degree, I don't know exactly what, except for the sonogram and tests, right? What is the most important for me is that the doctor said he has 3 days to a week to live. And the impression, power, and energy that I literally could not move. I couldn't go to my niece's on Christmas Eve. I couldn't take him. I couldn't do anything. And I was like that for about 3 days. I can't teach. I can't leave. I can't go. So the point of it really was how powerful it is what you say. And there was a lot of layers for it for me. As a mother, what you say is big. I'm talking about the titles. A teacher, a doctor, a police officer, a mother. We all have certain roles that have more authority than others. Friends, you know, but even friends are kind of fucked up. Being someone's friend is a big deal. It is an energy vortex, and you ought to be responsible for it. And here's what I really want us all to do. Don't tell somebody what you think is wrong. Don't ever do it unless they ask you. Stop. It isn't helpful. It really isn't. You think they don't know by complaining that maybe it creates more? You don't have to go, hey, you know, you're manifesting a really negative reality. Stop. What you can do instead is point out what's good about it, point out a different direction, change the subject entirely. What I'm talking about is being very responsible for the energy we are generating. And we can do it. We're just addicted to the other. Now, I'm going to end on this. I know it can be done, and here's how I know. My mother was like the queen of Negator. And when I was young. I was in like my late 20s, and I was going to therapy, and I was, doing all this stuff, and I married Tony, and I was, all this stuff was online. And I remember being with my therapist, and she said, you can tell your mom, you get to say to your mom, Mom, I don't want you to complain to me anymore. At this part of our relationship, all my mother did was complain to me about my brothers. That was the whole relationship. Your brother, everything that was wrong, that would be the entire conversation. So when I said to my mom, Mom, I don't want to hear anything more about what's wrong with my brothers, it was like shock. She got sad, very upset, because, well, what am I going to talk to you about? And it was weird. It was like really awkward for about a month, but guess what? It changed. She started talking about, and I told her, I don't freaking care. Talk to me about the weather. Talk to me about the bank. Talk to me about whatever you want. Just don't talk to me about the negative stuff about my brother. I don't want to hear it. It doesn't help anyway. And if Mary Lou Crockett can change, let me just say, anybody can, okay? So we will always want to start with ourselves. So let's feel into this while we do this practice. What's your 2 inches? Because that little adjustment is probably glaring at you, and you can do it. And it's going to cause you probably to make some boundaries too. Because I'm healing my negativity, I have to really be conscious of who I allow to do and be in my life. Because I'm all I got. And if I really want to reach the destiny I'm supposed to this time, I can't just, because I want to be a nice person, let you stay in my life and bitch your head off. I'm not going to do it. Now, they don't have to know that. It's mine. Only I will really know. And I will make those adjustments. If they can stay and we can make an adjustment, great. But if they can't, they're out. Because this is the destiny where you have to stop wasting energy, because you have something you're here for that's very specific, that only you can do. And what that 2 inches is doing to you right now is keeping you from it. It's so subtle. I mean, it's not like we're Donald Trump. No, I'm just kidding. We got just this, and we can do it. All right, so let's move our body. I want us to bring ourselves in Gyan Mudra. So this is a mental lock. You ever notice in some of the Kriyas you're supposed to be like this, and then all of a sudden you're not? Like you're just like, and that's on purpose. This brings the mind into an alignment with the soul, and it forces it to stay there. It's Jupiter, it's the expansion, the universe, and the ego, and it locks it in, and it concentrates it. So I want you to bring them in Gyan Mudra and just bring it up here. And we're going to do the breath of fire here. Looking up at the third eye, breath of fire, inhale and exhale equal out the nose. Keep up. Keep up. You're doing super good. Illuminate your mind.